Alrighty. So, hey everybody, welcome to the Damsels in Debate podcast. I am your host, Tina, and I have a very, very special guest this episode. I would like to introduce you all to my father, Dion.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, this is pretty different. So thank you, and we also have a new setup this time, also. So bear with us. We're checking out all this new stuff, but yeah, I recently saw three. We saw three movies in the movie theater, and all advanced screenings. And Vanessa was unable to come with me. But my father was able to accompany me to all three movies, so I figured he would be the best person to review these with. So, are you excited to do your first podcast episode?
Yeah, this is all new to me, but what the heck? I can always give my comments. Everybody has something to say, so that's probably the easiest thing of it.
Exactly. And I'll say up front that both of our movie tastes run pretty similar, but my father is a bit more, let's see, not as critical, I guess you could say.
That's about covers it there.
Yeah. Okay, so I will say, right at the top here, the movies that we saw were Neighbors, Brick Mansions, and The Quiet Ones. And so we're going to talk about all three of these movies briefly. And I want to say right up front that we're going to have some spoilers. Not a lot, but just some. So keep that in mind. And we will be reviewing them in order. So Neighbors, Brick Mansions, and then The Quiet Ones. So if you don't want any spoilers, just skip this episode. If you don't care, go ahead and keep listening. So spoilers starting now. We always like to say that up front because, you don't want to feel bad if you spoil something for somebody.
The spoilers.
Exactly. So the first one we're going to talk about is the only comedy of the three. So Neighbors, yeah, starring Seth Rogen, Zac Efron, and Rose Byrne. All right. So right off the top here, did you find this movie funny?
I thought it was funny. It was kind of campy, I kind of harkened back to the old Animal House stuff. If the gags are done the right way, even they're old and cheap ones, I think they're kind of funny.
Right.
I got a lot of laughs out of it.
I've never seen Animal House.
Wow.
It's in my queue, but I actually have not ever seen it. There's a lot of 80s comedies that somehow have just like slipped under my radar, but that's definitely one of them, and I need to see that at some point. But yeah, I agree. I thought this movie was pretty funny. It's Seth Rogen, and I think it's like the producers or the writers of This Is the End. So you kind of know what kind of comedy you're going into ahead of time. But I love that type of comedy. So yeah, I found it very funny. I wouldn't say it was as funny as like maybe This Is the End, but there was definitely parts where I was laughing pretty hard.
You sort of think it's certainly not going to win any kind of Academy Awards.
Oh no.
But on the line of just being plain old funny, I thought it was pretty good. It could win something. Like I said, it's a bit campy.
Uh-huh.
As far as one of the leads, Rose Byrne, that's the first. I've seen her in quite a few things before, but I've never seen her in a movie where she's actually with her native language.
Yeah, she's so good at accent.
She's Australian, and I was shocked.
Yeah, it was almost jarring at first. You're like, whoa, wait, what? Oh yeah. Forget that she's Australian. She's really good. And yeah, I agree. I thought she was like her. Well, I mean, like Seth Rogen, he's always going to be funny and stuff. But I thought she did a really good job, I thought, in this movie. She was pretty funny. She was more of like the straight man, of course. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I really enjoyed her. And also Zac Efron. I haven't really seen too many of his movies and shows and all that stuff. But he was also really funny. I thought he had really good comedic timing. So I was kind of surprised by that, actually.
And the gags that mainly happened to Seth Rogen's character, they were pretty good. I especially liked the gag that you actually saw in the commercial or whatever you call it. What do you call it?
Trailer.
Trailers, yeah.
That's a commercial.
Yeah, it's like the one with the airbags. He gets shot all over the place.
Yeah.
That's great. I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah, I wasn't planning on seeing this movie, so I did see the trailers for it, and yeah, that part is in the trailers. It probably would have been a little bit more surprising if I hadn't seen it in the trailers, but it's still, I thought it was pretty funny. when it happens in the movie, even though I knew it was coming. So there, I gotta make mention though, and this is just my stupid type of humor, but whatever. There was this one part in this movie that I couldn't even start laughing because it made, like, I found it so funny and it was just so fast, but it instantly made me tear up and gave me a stomach ache because it was just so funny. And it's a part where Zac Efron and Seth Rogen are fighting, and I don't something happens and one of them throws down one of those little trampolines, and Seth Rogen runs and jumps on the trampoline and is gonna like jump down on Zac Efron, but when he jumps up from the trampoline, he jumps into the fan that's going on the ceiling, and oh my god, whoo! I don't know, but that made me laugh. Like I thought that was so funny.
Yeah, that was a pretty good gag. I got to admit that was up there right with the airbag.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, that part, I don't know. Hilarious. But, yeah, so now, what would you say? Like, we usually try to rank movies, like, if you should go see it in the theater, or maybe wait till, like, Redbox, or wait till, it comes on basic cable, or just skip it altogether. What would you say? What would be your recommendation here?
My suggestion is, I mean, it actually depends on the person. How much you want to spend just seeing comedy. I mean, it's a pretty good comedy, but as far as if you want to like sink a lot of money into it, and sometimes theaters can be expensive.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, it's all right. Or you might want to think about even waiting till it comes out, Redbox and that type of thing. It's not a blockbuster, but it's all right.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm in the same boat. I think with comedies, most of the time you don't have to see them in the theater because they don't really lose anything when you watch them on the big screen. Yeah. So, or as opposed, I'm sorry, I messed up my words. They don't lose anything if you watch them on the small screen as opposed to the big screen. Yeah, this one was pretty funny. I would say definitely get it from Redbox. If you have a couple extra bucks, go ahead and see it in the theater. It's pretty funny. I don't think it's as funny as like This Is the End or Pineapple Express, but I definitely laughed. And if you get it from Redbox, it's totally worth it. It's for what, $1.20 or something it is now. So yeah, I think that's definitely good to go with that one.
Yeah, I agree with that. Redbox would be nice. I mean, you could take it home and get comfortable in your own way, and you have a pretty good laugh.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. All right, well, moving on. The next movie we saw was a totally different type of movie. This one's called Brick Mansions. And this one's actually a remake of a French film called District B13. That title is kind of annoying because it's got District 13, which, I'm thinking like the District 12 and all that stuff from movies. Yeah. And then B13, of course, I'm thinking of B613 from Scandal. So it's like thinking all the stupid stuff.
That's quite a jump, though.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, just the B13 in there, that's getting me. But I read earlier today, actually, that the guy, David Bell, who plays, like, I'd say, like, the second lead in this movie, he actually played the same role in District B13, so that's kind of interesting. So he's playing the same role in both movies.
In the French edition.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this one, I wrote down in my notes here, parkour. Because, I don't know if anybody's familiar with parkour or not. Not really, but there's a lot of it in this movie. This guy, David Bell, I guess, is one of the pioneers or whatever of that stuff. So he does quite a bit of it in the movie. And it all looks awesome. Like, when you say it looks pretty interesting, like him just running through windows and jumping through, like, everything.
Looks like if you look close, it looks like the guy's just super fit. And he's doing all of these things. I don't know how.
Completely, like, flexible and just
he's running up the side of buildings, jumping up through skylights and whatnot.
I love how there was a couple parts where Paul Walker was, following him, and then he's just like, no.
Yeah. He couldn't hang.
Yeah, no way.
Walker couldn't hang with him.
So, if you're a fan of parkour, I would definitely say to check this movie out. But I will say that to me, this movie, and I don't know how they judge these kind of things, but I feel like maybe if Paul Walker hadn't died, this would be more like a straight to DVD kind of movie. Didn't you get that vibe a little bit from it?
Yeah. It's like the plot was typical. Like the thing that actually surprised me was the end. You kind of knew that Paul Walker's character was going to win out overall in his own certain way, but the way the movie turned out at the end, it was I was surprised.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a twist at the end. I like the twist. I do feel like the movie was a little like heavy-handed with some of the messaging, the 99% we're not going to take it anymore kind of stuff. But it's fine. Like this movie, it's pretty much exactly what I thought it was going to be. So, like I enjoyed it. I know it's not a great movie, but I did enjoy it for what it was. And it was Paul Walker's last completed movie. Just whenever he comes on screen, like especially when he like first came on screen, you're just like, oh, what a shame. I can't help but think that.
Yeah, I think everybody has the same feeling, whether you like the guy or you just happen to notice him in movies and stuff. It's a shame the way he passed, and you do have feelings for him.
Yeah.
But back to the movie though, this guy David Bell, he's a pioneer in parkour.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think watching that kind of stuff. Well, what's the other guy I mentioned before?
Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan seemed to do the same type of stuff. Now perhaps David Bell did it earlier than Jackie Chan, but I seen Jackie Chan do it a lot more, or a lot earlier than his latest movie, Brick Mansions, where David Bell's character was doing a lot of it. But now the thing is, you mentioned like they're using it in different ways, but as far as I can tell, okay, they're both trying to get away from some kind of an aggressor.
Right.
So they're using this parkour technique to get away from these people.
Yeah.
So and to me, it doesn't seem any different. Maybe it is. That's just my opinion on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be the first person to say I don't really know a whole lot about Jackie Chan outside the Rush Hour movies, but I don't know, like, cause he's like a big stunt guy, and he does a lot of like fighting choreography and that kind of stuff, and it's a lot of the moves are real similar, like especially like that running up the walls and stuff like that. But his is kind of like it seems more like a fighting style, because he's always like punching and doing kicks and like all that kind of stuff too. So it's really similar. I don't know if he would be considered like I don't even know what you call him, like a parkour artist or enthusiast.
Yeah.
What it's called.
Advocate or something.
Yeah. But I can see the similarities for sure. All I know is I can't do either.
Oh yeah, Jesus. You got to be in super shape to do that stuff.
Yeah.
Even half of it is effects. I mean, hey, let's face it. A lot of that stuff does look like it's for real. Him jumping around and stuff.
Definitely.
So you got to be in super shape to get that done.
Yeah, and that's actually one of the things I wanted to talk about for this movie is I thought the stunts were pretty awesome. There was a lot of, there was definitely, especially when they were doing like the zooms through the cities and you could see like the skyline and stuff, you can tell that was all computer generated. But a lot of the stunts and like hand-to-hand fight scenes and stuff, that all looked pretty... it didn't look like there was too much computer help there. And I really like that. The only thing that I hated was just the camera work that they did around it. Because they had like so many cool stunts and like escapes and then, long chase sequences and stuff. But the editing was that super fast, like music video, choppy, like quick cuts and real extreme close-ups and stuff. And it's like, no, just leave this shot on for like 3 more frames and then cut to a new one. And you get so much more out of a shot like that. Like those stunts were cool, but if they had filmed them better, I think that would have kicked the movie up like a whole nother notch.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of action, but they could have filmed it better.
Yes.
What it comes down to, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah, because the stunts were really awesome, I thought. So if you're into stunts, this movie is definitely worth checking out.
Well, how about RZA?
Okay, so let me tell you. Now I have to call RZA whenever I see him Razor, because when we were sitting and watching, waiting for the movie to start. My dad kept calling him Razor.
Well, what is it? RZA? I
No,
mean,
I know.
how are you going to pronounce that? I took the easy way out. His name is Razor. And I kind of knew who they were talking about.
Oh man. So yeah, speaking of Mr. Razor, yeah, his character, I feel like he did okay in it, but I feel like he had like a supervillain checklist that he had to go through. Like he's got the suspenders on and the elaborate vest, and then the gold plated gun. And he's like, what does he do? He's chopping tomatoes or something, talking about his grandmother's wrist. It's like so eccentric.
Well, like you almost harken back to the like the crime bosses.
The kingpins.
Yeah, the kingpins. They're right in the middle of some sort of gang war or something like
Right,
that.
yeah.
And then their soldiers come up to this guy. They go into his office, and he's there making spaghetti or cooking some kind of fancy dish.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's putting ingredients in there, and at the same time, he's talking about killing people. And,
Yeah, yeah.
you can't let this happen. You gotta
So
go out
I'll
and bust
put
heads.
his whole look and stuff. I'll put that in that whole like, a little cheesy with certain parts of this movie. Like that's definitely in that pile. But I will say, even though he's not like the best actor, obviously, I will give him an A for effort because I do like that he's in all these different movies and he's trying out all these different things. He definitely needs, I don't know, some acting lessons or something. But yeah, but I enjoyed him in the movie.
Well, you know what though, what I seem to notice with him, he has now his accent fit this movie to a T.
Right.
It was like a Brooklyn accent type of thing. He grew up in the city type. But a few days ago, before I saw this movie, I happened to see, I guess it was the second G.I. Joe movie.
Oh yeah.
And he was in there. He was like the Grand Poobah Sensei,
Right. Yeah.
which you got the impression he was there since childbirth in
Right.
Japan or wherever it was. And the thing that caught my ear was that the guy was talking with a Brooklyn accent in that movie. It just didn't fit. So it's like he should practice up on his
Yeah.
his dialect or whatever the heck you call it. He could
Yeah,
change
an
that a little
accent
bit.
coach or something.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah. So he was okay in this movie, but yes, that is there. That is present. So like storyline wise here. Like I said before, it's a little on the nose with certain things and kind of cheesy. I do think the ending helped for sure. They switched it up a little bit. And then RZA, his acting isn't perfect. Also, David Bell, I realize that he's French, so he's got his accent and stuff, but his timing on some of his line deliveries was just terrible. I thought it's like, oh, that did not land properly.
I wonder, and maybe you can answer this. Was that the first American movie he was in?
No, I skimmed through his filmography earlier, and now, of course, I can't remember anything else he was in. But he has been in other stuff, so I don't know. But I don't know if it was like dialogue heavy or if it was just he was just more of a stunt guy in the movie.
Like a hitman or something.
Yeah, exactly. So where you wouldn't need, you wouldn't worry about your timing, something like that. So I don't know, but yeah, that could use a bit of work. Some of those lines just fell flat, and you're like, ugh, I'm embarrassed.
Yeah, but like we said before, his parkour techniques
Right,
are right on the money. This guy's good.
Yeah, totally.
So as far as action goes, take a look at this guy. It's really amazing what he can do.
I agree. Oh God! Also, there was a fight. I don't know, like midway through the movie or something, and it was the woman. She was one of the henchmen, basically, and it was David Bell's old girlfriend, and they had like a little fight in the middle of the movie. I was like, this fight is 5 seconds away from becoming like just ridiculous. Like oh my God, their outfits that they were wearing, and like she was a waitress in a diner, okay? And she is wearing like basically a Catholic girl, or was it a Catholic schoolgirl outfit? Like it was just, woo, all right now. This fight needs to end like in 2 seconds or I'm gonna not like it. So,
Like they were
yeah.
trading off hits. Like one would get a good hit in on the other one
Hmm.
and knock them down, and then get back up, and the first one would give a good hit to the second one, and
Yeah.
she'd fall out, and they were going back and forth and back
Yeah,
and
it was
forth.
just like this is heading into like was that like exploitation area? Yeah.
The director
So,
told him, "Hey,
whew.
now it's your turn. Now it's your
Yeah,
turn."
make it look sexy while you do it, guys. Yeah. So yeah, I'm like, all right, needs to end, and then it ends. So that was good. But yeah. Also, there was a little memorial at the very end of the movie, which I thought was cute. For obviously for Paul Walker. And yeah, like I said, the ending helped it. But in my opinion, I would say you don't have to see this in the theater. But if you get it from Redbox, I think it's good for Redbox. $1.20 or whatever. It's entertaining. I will say it is what you think it's gonna be. There's cheesy dialogue and there's just some ridiculous stuff, but there's a lot of cool stunts in it.
Yeah, the plot twist at the end is interesting. You might even figure it out beforehand. Chances are, but I do think it was pretty interesting how they changed things around a little bit.
Right, right.
All in all,
So you say
Redbox,
Redbox? Yeah, okay.
Redbox time.
Cool, cool. So we're on the same page there. Alrighty. And now our last movie, which is again totally different from what you'd expect, is The Quiet Ones, the horror movie. Which horror movie coming out in April, you gotta kind of wonder. But yeah, so The Quiet Ones. This one starred Finnick. I don't remember his Sam something. And it was weird because he had a British accent, which he is British in real life. So it's kind of weird to see him like that. And then Jared Harris was the only other person that I recognized in this movie.
Yeah.
And he's that guy with the voice who was in something. He's in like so many different things.
Well, actually, now that I know who Jared Harris is, I've seen him in quite a few movies. He
Yeah.
was in let's see, the remake of Lost in Space. He was the young kid
Yeah.
turned into an older kid. He
Yep.
was in that. He was in Mr. Deeds. I don't know you,
Yeah, yeah,
Adam
that's right.
Sandler's movie. But you see the guy popping up every now and then, or that's how I see him.
He's,
He
he's
pops
in
up.
a bunch of different things. He was in Pompeii, which I saw a couple months ago or whatever. It was a terrible movie. He was in there too. He was also in Fringe, which I got to shout that out because I love that show. But yeah, and a lot of stuff. But those were the only two that I recognized. So now, I mean, everybody kind of. I try to drive home, especially when we were doing our Halloween themed episodes, but about the kind of stuff that I find scary. And my go-to movie, my easiest one, is always Insidious because that movie just scared me so much. But whew. But yeah. So with this one, I will say I personally didn't really find it scary. I just put jump scares for my notes. That was all there was in this movie, I thought, which those are always going to make you jump, obviously. Yeah. But that's not something that sticks with you. It's not like a creepy thing, you know?
Yeah.
Now I know obviously you're a grown man, so and I know stuff that scares me probably isn't going to scare you as much, but what would you say?
Yeah, I've seen quite a few horror movies. Heck, when we were growing up, that's all we seemed to look at is
Right,
Frankenstein, Wolfman, all the way up.
And then you had like Michael Myers and all that stuff
Yep,
too,
yep,
right?
yep,
In the
sure,
theater? Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
As far as horror movies go, I don't get scared when I watch them, but I think it's interesting how they put the horror on the screen.
Right, okay.
And I've seen some pretty good ones before, but now this movie, to achieve the fear that you get from this movie, all you got to do is have the music nice and slow, and all of a sudden you crank it up real loud. That's that jump scare thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And that worked. I mean, it got your attention. If you happen to be nodding out at the time the movie was on, that would wake you up. It would indeed wake you up.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's about all the movie had, though.
Right, I totally agree. There wasn't much going for it. And it got really repetitive, I thought, too. It's like, okay, let's all get quiet and all join in the room while we do something to make her, get the demon or whatever that's going on. And then wham, something flies across the screen or the camera gets knocked over. And it felt like it was just that. The whole movie was just that.
You saw a couple of shadows and stuff like that that'll really get you going. But like the part of that movie that that caught your attention was the jump scare deals.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
and you don't want to make a movie and make that carry the movie.
Right, because that's like the laziest kind of horror movie, which you don't want, because anybody can do that.
Sure.
I was kind of bummed at the ending. I was kind of hoping that the twist would be that they could scientifically get rid of this thing, because at the end it turns out that it's just she was the girl that was in the fire or whatever, and it turns out that it was all the hokum horror supernatural demon stuff. But Jared Harris's character was the one who was trying to prove that you could scientifically get rid of this thing, So in a way, I was kind of hoping that would turn out to be, the correct ending, or how it would actually end. So that would, they kind of switch it up a little bit. But no, that was not the case.
It was lackluster.
Yeah. And see, I will say, because this movie, I didn't really care about this movie, so when the trailers came on the TV, I didn't run out of the room or anything like I normally do. Which, oh my god, they're playing Godzilla and X-Men trailers now. So I'm on like full special alert now with the TV. But anyway, in the commercials for this movie, the only thing I ever saw that was like of any note was the part where she's like reaching down into the crib and then like her hand like kind of catches on fire, or there's like a big glow that like hits her hand and that looks scary. And then the other part where she's like laying on the table and the camera pulls back and there's like that weird gooey gross looking worm thing coming out of her mouth. That they showed those in the trailers. Those are probably 2 out of like 3 or 4 maybe money shots in the movie. So what
That was the only
do?
actually that was that. And let's see, near the end when the blonde girl who was there helping him out, she sort of got taken as she walked out the front door.
Yeah.
That effect and the effect that you just spoke of when the girl, like when the 2 guys on either side of her had a body armor and she bent backwards.
Right, yeah.
And that thing came out of her mouth. Nobody knows what the heck that was. Perhaps it was the demon. That was about the 2 effects that I saw. Everything else was just, man, you could do it down in your basement or in the bedroom or something.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
There was a slight love affair going there, too. But
yeah, which nothing really came of it, so it's just like, whatever. I felt like it was like filler, pretty much. Yeah. Like, this could have definitely been an hour-long episode of some horror or supernatural-centered show. I think. Like, this could have been an episode of, like, friggin' Supernatural or something. Yeah. And it could have been wrapped up and resolved in that same amount of time. I would say probably watch this on FX, or what's that? There's like it's not the Sci-Fi Channel. There's some kind of, like, semi-horror related channel. But you could wait till when...
Of course, it'll probably be cut a little bit for commercials. And indeed, you'll have commercials on it.
Right.
But this thing, you can wait for it to come on FX.
No, I wasn't digging this one too much. I will say, if I had to rank these movies, which I am well aware that they are completely different movies, but I probably enjoyed Neighbors the most, just because I laughed a lot at that. And then after that would be Brick Mansions, and Quiet Ones. I was just whatever. I didn't hate it, but I didn't really enjoy myself with that one.
I concur. My decision is just about the same.
Yeah.
Neighbors was the best out of the group, and Quiet Ones, forget about it. It's still quiet.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't even bother.
Yeah, that was my quiet reaction for that one. Well, cool. That's all 3 movies. So, me and Vanessa have had some conflicting schedules lately, so I'm glad thank you for reviewing these with me.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
You're the best person. I gotta ask you, since we're on the cusp here of our big summer movie season starting up, what movie would you say is your, like, what are you really looking forward to this summer? Because I know you're into, like, those big blockbusters and stuff.
Actually, there's quite a few that I'm looking forward to. Spider-Man, whether that's good, bad, or indifferent. I'm always interested in seeing how they put Spider-Man out on the screen.
Yeah.
Of course, they had the ones before this new one.
Right.
So that one's near the top of the list. Maleficent. Yeah. I like the way how they make up. Well, what's the girl's name?
Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie. Yeah, she's really, really fantastic job. That one should be interesting. And of course, X-Men. That's a must.
Yes.
And an old favorite that I grew up watching in black and white, and Godzilla, for crying out loud. I can't wait for that to come out. I remember the last remake they did. I thought it was good. A lot of people didn't like it, but hey,
It was okay.
yeah, what do you want out of a monster movie?
Well, yeah, I don't know. But I see, I did this one. They actually had a teaser trailer, so I was able to watch that. And I gotta applaud them. They hid Godzilla. He was all like smoke silhouettes and stuff. Yeah. So that made me excited. I have no idea how the actual movie will turn out, but I'm going to see that. I think it looks good.
Now, there's one more point about Godzilla.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sort of a stickler on it, and as the first one came out, and which was more interesting when the first remake came out, they managed to keep Godzilla's voice. And that's an important part to me. Yeah, that's my opinion of it. So I'm hoping that this new one comes out, they'll still have his original voice.
You gotta check the trailers. There's new trailers out. You gotta see if that's in there.
Even if they tweak it a little bit, that'd be fine. But they gotta have that Godzilla sound, because we grew up with that Godzilla sound.
Right.
Expendables.
Oh,
That's going to be good. I understand there's quite a few people in that.
Oh man, friggin' Harrison Ford and Kelsey Grammer, which are gonna be awesome. Antonio Banderas and Mel Gibson's playing the bad guy. That's gonna be pretty cool. But I gotta say, I'm most psyched about Wesley Snipes joining the crowd.
Yeah.
I've been saying for years, I'm like, get Wesley Snipes in the Expendables, and everybody's like, he's in jail, and I'm like, well, he ain't in jail anymore. And then, yep, there he goes, gets signed up right away.
Yeah, he needs some work, so
yeah.
So it'd be good to put him in there.
Snipes.
Blade movies. I thought he played a good vampire. He's a good action guy.
That's a Marvel movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
he got the pizzazz for it. So why not be in Expendables? He can show a slightly different side, an action hero type of side.
Yeah, and he's definitely an action guy. Like, I mean, I know he's played other stuff, but like he's definitely proven himself in that action realm. So yeah, And then remember him and Sylvester Stallone were in Demolition Man back in like mid
forgot
'90s
about
or
that.
whatever. Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. So yeah, I'm really excited for that movie.
Another one coming out is Transformers, and
They got those Dinobots running around.
yeah. I watch these guys. Watch the comic strips, or saw the comic strips. We used to watch the animated show on TV years ago. Mm-hmm. Just the fact that they, the state of the art of special effects is to the point where there's no stopping. You can do anything on the screen that you want now, and a perfect example of that is Transformers. These things look real.
Yeah, man, that teaser
that.
trailer they had, that looked good. I'm excited for that. And it's got Mark Wahlberg in it.
Yeah. Now that's I don't recall ever seeing him in this type of movie. Sure, he's an action guy. But that army movie he was just in.
Oh, Lone Survivor.
Yeah, Lone Survivor. Yeah. I thought he did a good job in that. Mm-hmm. So this will probably be, more than anything else, it'll be fun for him.
Yeah, definitely.
Turtles is out there.
Yeah, I don't know about Turtles. I'm gonna see it, but I don't know about it.
I remember the cartoons years ago.
The cartoons,
that's right.
Yeah.
Turtles cartoons. Then they had the few movies. What was it? 2 of them, or
there were 3.
Three.
But there was only 2 that were good.
But as I just said before, the state of the art now, they can do anything with characters like that.
Yeah, I like how big they are. The only thing I can't stand their faces. They look creepy. It looks creepy. To watch them is creepy. It's the lips and the nose. Just get rid of the lips and the nose, and you'll be fine.
But it's it's something to watch, and I got my eye out. But you know what? Well, let's see. Planet of the Apes.
Oh, yeah.
That's got to be a good movie. They always have the effects that they need in that. Storyline is good. That should be interesting to see what. Right, they got out and they went into that forest.
Yeah.
What the heck are they going to do from this point?
Well, yeah, I figured there's going to be like a time jump because you had that illness at the end. Remember with the guy who the Stargate Atlantis guy, he got infected and he was at the airport. So that illness is spreading all over, and it doesn't affect the chimps.
So it'll be interesting to see what Well, what comes of this movie? Which way they go, and
Mm-hmm.
how they're going to make this one progress.
Yeah, yeah.
Last on my list is the Guardians
Guardians of the
of the
Galaxy.
Galaxy. That's going to be a fun movie, I think. I
I
mean,
agree.
they look like they're pretty funny,
Mm-hmm.
and they got some good effects in there. Some of the creatures
Yeah.
are really done well.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
that should be a real good movie, and it looks like they can make a series out of it because
Yeah,
they're characters that are out there trying to do something. I mean, of course, you don't know exactly what the movie's about,
Mm-hmm.
or you can figure it out to a point. But it looks like they can have a future in this
And then
movie.
real quick in the commercial, I don't know if you saw it, but they had Benicio del Toro's character that he was in Thor. Remember, he was like that collector guy in the end.
Oh yeah,
So
that's right.
he's going to be in there somehow too. So yeah, it's interesting.
That's a whole new bag as far as the
Yeah, the Marvel universe.
superhero guys.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are in outer space. Of course, they're gonna do what superheroes do, but there's going to be a comedy aspect of it,
Yeah, yeah.
and it looks like it's going to be a good movie. I can't wait for that one. As if I wanted to pick one that's most important, I'd say the Guardians.
Yeah.
Guardians, I really want to see that. I've seen the other ones of the same title: X-Men, Godzilla,
Mm-hmm.
Expendables, Transformers.
Right, right.
Turtles should be interesting. Now that they have the power of the effects now, it'd be interesting to see how they come out.
Yes, I agree.
Spider-Man, of course, you've seen so many trailers from that. You may have seen the best parts of the movie, but I still want to see that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the Guardians, I can't wait for that.
I agree. It's something different, and when I was hearing about the movie, I was like, whatever. It just sounds kind of weird. And there's a raccoon. I don't know about that. But then when I saw that teaser trailer, that totally sold me. So yeah, I totally agree. I'm very psyched about that movie. For me, it's like a, a three-way tie between that and just the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Is it Dawn of the Planet of the Apes or Rise of the Planet of the Apes? Now I'm getting them confused.
You got me.
Well, the next Planet of the Apes movie. Yeah. Just because I was really surprised by how much I liked the other one, and the teaser trailer I thought was really good for this. And then I gotta go with X-Men just because oh my god, there's gonna be all those characters in this movie. I'm trying not to get my hopes up, but I'm really psyched for those three movies.
Yeah, the effects in X-Men are astounding.
I haven't seen any trailers for X-Men, so I'm really psyched, but yeah, I haven't actually seen any trailers for it. Well, yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. I just had to ask you that just because, summer is upon us here.
Sure.
Especially down here in Florida. Oh, my God.
Oh, man. Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But yeah, thank you very much, Father, for being on the podcast episode here.
Yeah, tea anytime.
Yeah. Well, I might call you back during some of these summer movies then. Sure. Maybe I'll try to get you on the Godzilla episode. That'll be fun.
Let's just hope he has the old voice.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I'll be disappointed if he doesn't.
Right. 0 stars. Cool. Well, if you guys would like to send us any feedback or recommendations or any of that crap, you can send us an email at damselsindebate@gmail.com. You can stream our episodes and all of our episodes, and also give us comments on our website, damselsindebate.com. And you can also, we're on Stitcher and we're on iTunes, and on there you can subscribe to us and rate and review us. And you can also find us on Facebook and on Twitter. We like to post goofy things every now and then. And also, you'll find the links for our podcast episodes on there. So that's it. Until next time, hopefully things will get back on track soon. And again, thank you for joining me.
And this is Dion saying goodbye, and appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you. Awesome. Bye. All right, bye.